going on? What is happening? Okay, I got to try and remember to look at that dot. Look, I've been gone for 2 Sundays and I apologize. I had a conference going on, Rooted Vines. I'm doing some things with Rooted Vines. Blue Seas Travel is doing this thing. And I am a full-time student, if y'all did not know. So my plate is full and I got a husband I got to take care of. So I'm trying not to neglect all these duties. I don't know how I get pulled into all of this. But anyways, y'all, I know, excuse me, I know y'all saw the topic today, right? Y'all saw the topic, finding love in the modern world. Okay, this is going to be a fun topic. It's going to be a fun topic because I'm going to share some stories about my search, and my love for my husband. Okay. So look, we're going to dive into some deep stuff today. But before I stop, I want to preference this. For you guys, it's February. That's why I decided to do this topic. It's February. If you guys got somebody, you got a mate, somebody who loves on you all year long, someone who is always given to you, somebody who just send you flowers or, just there for you all year long. Do not act the fool when February 14th come around and they don't get you what you think you should get, right? Right? Don't be throwing the box of chocolates off the counter and acting crazy, right? Because they are giving you love all year long. Don't fall into the trap that some man out there one day thought, I'll make Valentine's Day, and now it's just another way to pin men against women and break up relationships, beautiful relationships over material things. That's not what we're doing. All right. So I don't want to hear all of that. Get your life together and do your personal work so you don't feel offended. All right. Because your worth ain't in a box of chocolates. Your worth ain't in balloons. Your worth ain't in trips. Okay. So realize who you got and act accordingly out there. All right, act accordingly. All right, you guys. This is going to be a fun topic. So today we're going to be diving into the mysterious, sometimes hilarious, and often bewildering world of love, okay, in the 21st century. So I want y'all to buckle up because it's going to get good. I'm going to share little stories about me, right? So buckle up. We're gonna explore the modern scenes of dating. So whether you're swiping left, if you're swiping right, if you're hearing they ain't my type of thing, or if it's the ghost phenomenon. And y'all know we ain't talking about no haunted houses, are we? All right, y'all. Let's go on and get started. Okay, first, we're going to kick it off by talking about technology. We talk about the 21st century, we got to talk about technology because everything seems to be about AI or technology. And I hope y'all are learning about this AI because it's going to make it an even playing field if y'all out there learning about it. But look, I'm going to bring up technology. Number one, if you did not know, me and my husband met online, blackpeoplemeet.com. All right. And that was in when? I met him in 2015. 2015. I met him in 2015, y'all. Yes, I believe it was 2015. I met him online, loves. Online. I got lucky. I got so lucky. Remember when people used to meet in bookstores or you would be casually strolling in the mall? Remember when there was malls like you would casually be strolling and somebody come up and be like, hey, what's your name? Now they don't even know how to talk to nobody, right? They don't know how to ask a name or nothing like that. That's, whatever. You be locking eyes in between the books on the bookstore. Maybe that was just me. Maybe that's just my story, right? Okay. So, it's almost like a romantic novel, I guess. But anyways, let me tell you. So I had a girlfriend and it was Thanksgiving and we were at this shindig where we were feeding the elderly. And I was complaining something about relationships, whatever. And she was like, why don't you go on blackpeoplemeet.com? That's where I met my husband. And I was stumped because her husband was a nice guy. I would have never thought they had met online. So she was like, yeah, they got this promo. They're doing 3 months for free. Jump on there. If you don't find no one in 3 months, just jump off. You don't want to pay for it. I said, well, I ain't got nothing to lose. I went home. I made me a little profile, and I had to revamp that profile a few times because men have the audacity, right? To once I put it, because I'm very professional, I ain't one of them chicks in the street. That's not my thing. So my profile represented that. And yeah, it was pulling in some unattractive people. So I had to put little caveats at the bottom. If you in your picture and you got a white beater on, don't contact me. If you got pictures of your shoes and your car in your profile, don't contact me. I had to get really dark and dirty. And a lot of them didn't like that, but I knew those were little boys and they didn't understand what I was saying. Don't come at me crazy, right? I had a lot of dates where I had to walk out, smooth walk out. One date I walked in, sat down, didn't even get my purse in the seat good enough. And this joker talking to me like I'm from the streets. I picked my purse up, put my coat on, and walked off. Oh, he done called me all kinds of names. I'll be whatever it is, but I ain't gonna be with you. You have to learn to do your self work so you feel good and you know your worth. I ain't got time for it. I knew what I wanted because I wrote it down and I told myself, if when I go on these dates, they break up any of these rules, they get scratched off and the numbers getting blocked. I blocked a lot of numbers. And some had the audacity to try and call me from different numbers. Did you know that? All these jokers out here be playing games. And I'm sure the women are no better. So I ain't finna put it on one side because my sisters need some help out here. That's all I got to say. So I got some notes here so I can stay on topic because I'll get way off topic and forget what I'm even talking about while telling my story, right? So anyways, I met my husband on blackpeoplemeet.com. I sure did. He was the last message that I got before I closed that doggone app because then I was like, there ain't no guys out here. This is crazy, the stuff I gotta go through. I was frustrated. Here he goes sending me a message talking about, can I call you? Now, usually when they say, can I call you, they ain't calling you. So I said, sure. I threw my number out there. He called 5 minutes later. And I told him, hey, look, this app thing ain't working for me. I'm closing my app today. So I don't know what's going to happen. He said, it ain't working for me either. Why don't we get together this weekend and have a last hurrah, whatever. I was like, sure, not thinking anything of it. We never left each other's side after that. I turned that corner and saw that tall, dark, handsome. Woo! And it was over. It was over. Okay, I don't know how he felt about me. And one thing I loved about him is at the end of the night, he didn't try and touch my backside. He didn't try and grab. He didn't even give me a hug. He shook my hand and said he had a wonderful night. I knew right then. I knew right then. You couldn't tell me nothing else. That was going to be my husband right there, y'all. So, y'all, thanks to technology, our lives, I know my life, has totally transformed, okay? And people out there just scrolling. Now I know everybody has different reasons to be on dating apps, so you do have to be careful because everybody ain't out there for love. And as they say here in Atlanta, every time I'm on the little scrolly thing, they talking about there's pee in the pool. We'll stop peeing in the pool. All right, stop peeing in the pool because just because you saying it's pee, y'all out there, y'all probably one of the ones out there doing it. So get your lives together. Get your lives together. All right. So even though we have technology, it is shopping for love, but people don't know how to get out. People are working a lot. So in my profession, in the medical profession, especially in the emergency medicine, I was working a lot, but I really loved my job. I really loved what I did. So if I was not taking a break and sleeping or taking a trip, I was at work and I love being at work. So the fact that I could put work aside to be with my this man I had just met was a big thing, right? And a lot of guys were really upset because they were like, nobody works that much, and if you work that much, you ain't got time for me. No, if you're worth it, I'll make time for you. I just don't make time for anybody. So this man, Chauncey, I made time for him, right? I made sure. And even then I was a little late on dates because I would get off work because I was doing some stuff. But he was patient with me. He was patient. I think he saw that I really loved what I did. So that was really good. Um, again, it's shopping for love, but instead of adding, things to your cart, now we're just kind of swiping and saying yes or no. I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. Um, But I know you have to be careful in the thing, okay? Some women go out and they don't get to come back home, right? So you got to be smart about this thing, especially when you're dating from an app. You got to make sure you're driving your own car. You got to make sure that you don't go to their home, they don't come to your home. You got to make sure that you go to public places, and you got to be able to vet them for a while. 1 week isn't going to work. Right? You're going to have to vet them for a while because there's a lot of guys out here that do not know how to take rejection well. And they don't understand that it's not really, I wouldn't say just a rejection of them, but you know that it's not going to be a good match. And if you're looking for something great, you want it to be a good match. You don't want to waste your time. And that's out of respect for them and for yourself. But there's a lot of boys out here with men bodies and boy minds, and they don't understand that, right? And so a lot of women end up missing or hurt um because someone can't let go, right? They don't know how to let it go. Navigating dating apps, it's like a needle in a haystack, honey. Needle in the haystack. You got your profile picture, and I'll never remember my husband. Forget my husband was like, because it tells you, what kind of pictures to put on your profile, so they know that you're outgoing and all of that stuff, friends and whatever. But I'm into race cars, so I love NHRA, National Hot Rod Association, right? So I love that NASCAR. That's my thing. So I had a whole bunch of pictures of different race car drivers, right? And they're in their race car suits and we're taking pictures. I put it up on my profile. My husband later tells me, "Oh, I thought those were ex-boyfriends." What I didn't realize, especially on blackpeoplemeet.com, there's not a lot of black men. Now there's black men, but there's not a lot of black men who are into race car driving. So he wouldn't have known who they were. So he thought they were ex-boyfriends. And I was like, why would I put ex-boyfriends on my profile while I'm looking for someone? But that's just what he thought. So be careful out there how you do your profile, because men don't think like women, right? And if you're into something that involves a lot of men, maybe you should preference that in your profile. I don't know. I don't know. So make sure you have a good picture of yourself and represent yourself well. Now y'all know, y'all out here doing magic on your face, and then you show up and you just done messed up this man's whole day. Okay? Cause one thing about it, men gonna show up the way they show up. They ain't got no coup. But women, y'all need to stop. Y'all, come on, just stop. That's all I got to say about that. Okay. We don't want to be out here screaming a material soulmate. For the women who are just dressed to the nine, if you can afford to do that for yourself, then do it for yourself. Don't expect anybody else to do it. If he loves you enough and he can afford to do that, he would. He would. Okay. But that's another topic of loving yourself and being able to be who you are. Natural hair and all. I'm talking to my sisters now. I know, don't come for me. Don't come for me. And I know there's some people out there with medical conditions, and I totally understand that. That's not what I'm talking about. And you know that's not what I'm talking about. All right. So anyway, sometimes with love, I feel like a lot of us grew up or watch a lot of Hallmark Channel type movies, those love movies. And we get our mind wrapped around this Disney mentality of love. So a lot of us think love is the prince riding up on the horse, or we think that this guy's just come and just deal with all of our tragedies and stuff with niceness. And sometimes we think that they should understand us even when we're being harsh, and that they shouldn't um come for us, right? But that's not always true, because women, we can get out, y'all know, we can get out of pocket. We can get out of pocket, and men do have feelings when you end up being with a man. And when you're with a man, he is going to lead, period. Right? Unless you are a strong woman and you desire someone to be underneath you. There's a lot of men out there, you got pick of the litter. But when you're looking for someone who's going to protect, who's going to do what he's supposed to do, provide, that is going to be a man. And for that exchange, you need to learn to be in your softness. And the only way you can do that is to be honest and truthful with yourself. You have to work on yourself to find that feminine softness so that you can find that hunter out there. All right. That gentleman that you're looking for. That's the only way this is gonna work. All right. Let me see if I'm talking off topic. All right. I don't know. All right. So, anyways, when you're doing the dating app, and I guess I was on topic because I kind of talked about it. Um, Amidst all the swipes and likes, how do you stay true to yourself? Because we kind of get caught up in the excitement. This is the thing. When you are purposely and intentionally looking for someone, the feelings disappear. This is almost like the old school, like you're doing your own marriage arrangement, right? It needs to look good on paper, but not only on paper, that person needs to be able to show you what you see on paper, that it's real, and they need to be able to do that consistently. One thing I loved about my husband and why I was able to get out of survival mode, because I lived there a long time, is that whatever he told me, he did. Whatever he said, he kept his word. When I text him, even if he couldn't text right back, he shoots something like, busy at work, I'll get right back to you. And then 5 or 10 minutes later, he'll call. Like, I never had to worry about that. He was consistent on every level. Whatever he did, his word was his bond. I talked about that in another video, your word being your bond. But his word was his bond. And so that helped me get out of survival mode because I knew that I would be okay. Because he's somebody who knew how to keep his word. He's somebody who knew how to communicate. And I've learned over the years that he communicates a lot. I love it. He communicates a lot. Anyways, let's see. Just staying true to yourself, okay? So you want to make sure that you're true to yourself and what you're looking for and what you want, and that you will not compromise. But not only that, but you want to portray yourself in a natural beauty. Make sure that you look the way that you look without all of don't go tricking anyone. I know makeup is supposed to be a enhancement. Y'all like hearing talk. Enhancement. It's not supposed to trick anyone. It ain't supposed to be trickery, right? They should be able to see the real you through your makeup. So when you take it off, it's not really a big difference. They ain't shocked or surprised. They know who you are, right? We got a lot of things going on out here, even in the trans world, where people just are scared to be transparent. That's because you haven't done your work. If you don't feel comfortable with you, why would someone want to get with you if you don't even feel comfortable with yourself, but you want them to love on you? When you don't even love yourself, you don't even have self-worth. That doesn't even make sense. That's why I tell everybody, do your work before you get in a relationship. This marriage I'm in is my third marriage. And when I was going through my self work, I had to figure out, why in the world did I get married the other two times. I figured out my first marriage, which I was really really young at 16, was because I was trying to get out of a dangerous environment, and I thought getting married he would be able to take me out. Totally wrong. My second marriage is because I had children and I was lonely, not because I was in love or anything like that. Now this third marriage is, I chose him because of a lot of different aspects that he checked off on my paper, because of who he was and how he presented himself. I loved it. And he did his own self work. Sometimes you run into the men that do their own self work. So he knew who he was. And I love that I felt his presence before he would even enter a room. Y'all have no idea. No idea how wonderful that is. I know being yourself, people feel like, that's because you don't know yourself. But remember, authenticity is the key. Being true is the key. Because if you're true right out the bat, standing on that foundation of truth, standing on truth instead of standing on business, you have more of a chance of creating a match and not having to hide and work so hard on a lie, on a foundation that's going to be cracked and unstable. They're going to know that you are real from the get-go, right? They're going to give you the benefit of the doubt and really try to be in that thing with you, right? Being genuine might not get you all the matches, or the matches you really desire, but it is definitely going to get you to the right people. And also, when I talk about the right people, also, a lot of us have types. That's another thing you have to work on yourself. Find your types. Go back and look at all the people you've dated, you've been with, whatever, and see what type they are. Because sometimes we are attracted to that because of what we have inside of us. But when we do the work, we'll find out that what our real type is, and it's going to be totally different from what you've been doing. And once you get in there, you're going to be able to breathe a lot easier, because you're just in the wrong box. You done checked the wrong box, right? Because of what you've been through and what you're in, and sometimes your environment, right? If these are the kind of guys that are out there, this is what you think that's normal, and there's nothing else out there. There's tons of good guys out there, but they're not hanging out in the streets. These good guys are hardworking good guys. You're going to find them in the grocery store when they get ready to eat something. You might find them playing basketball every once in a while, or some sport that they love. But these guys are not the ones just hanging out in the club. Every blue moon, you might catch one with his boys because somebody done begged him to go out. But they're really not out there like that, right? So you got to figure out the type that you gravitate towards, and then you got to figure out what your true type is. And the only way you're going to do that is to write down and list down what you desire in a man. And then when you look at that list, ask yourself, what I desire, do these type of men possess that? And if not, figure out where these men hang out. Where are they? Are they in the hotel, in a hotel lobby, 5-star hotel lobby, sitting there having their cognac? Like, where are they? Are they in the cigar lounge? Are they in the church? Like, where are these men with this type of caliber and characteristics? Because they definitely ain't over here, because you ain't got one. All right. So let's keep going. So setting healthy expectations is also crucial. Not every match leads to love. When I was online dating, I met a lot of really good guys, but they were just friends. They became friends. And some of them I talked to, they hit me up, hey, how you doing? Whatever. They know I'm married and all of that, but they just ended up being friends. There was nothing there. And so sometimes that happens. And then sometimes you just gotta smooth cut them jokers off. I had got married. It'd been a year. My mom was getting married, and we were flying back from the wedding. And I got a text from a number I didn't know, and it was a guy that messed up on the date. Because one thing I tell him on the date: don't touch me, don't touch me. And he, at the end of the date, what he do? He don't listen. Didn't touch me. I blocked his number, blocked him all the way. He texted me a year later, and he was like, look, I'm really sorry. Because he kept trying to call, and then he finally gave up, because I don't give you a second chance. I ain't got time for it. And he said, I'm really sorry. I really messed up. I didn't mean to disrespect you. And I said, sir, I'm married now. And he said, oh, I apologize. I'll never contact you again. Boom. I knew my worth. Don't come at me sideways. I'm not giving you second chance. If you say you're a grown man, you're going to respect what I tell you in the first place, right? So don't be out here handsy and whatever, and these lies like we need to be together first to see if we compatible. Only little boys say that. Only little boys say that. So all of that, you ain't got to do all that, right? There's real men out here. So what I want to talk about next is y'all, I can't say this word. Being vulnerable. My husband gonna get me when he see this. Being vulnerable in a world of dating is like walking a tightrope, right? How much do you share? How much don't you share? Okay, let's talk about that. So let's talk about that. So, how much information do you share? How much information don't you share? Let me tell you something. Number one, what gets on my nerves is your body count. If you are a grown woman, a grown man, number one, you know that they probably done slept with someone down the line. Who cares how many? Make sure they go out and get an STD check, whatever, all of that. Make sure everything is clear. But the body count is another children's conversation. Only children have that conversation, right? It don't matter. So definitely don't be sharing body counts. That's just, I can't believe grown people are still talking about that. All right. So it's really tricky. You don't need to be an open book, right? Unless it's No, you don't need to be an open book unless you have to be honest about your sexual gender. I think you should be an honest book and just let them know right then and there, so we can just get past that. You'll be safe, they'll be safe, and nobody's heartbroken or end up having a traumatic experience over it, right? If you have some type of disease, I think you should be an open book. These things should be common sense, but I know common sense ain't common no more. So you should be open in that. You should never talk about your ex. If you've moved on and they ask about your ex, there ain't really nothing to talk about there. All right. We parted ways. Am, that's another word. We parted ways as friends, or we parted ways, and I shut the door to that in my life. um so being an open book can be really tricky, and you don't want to be too open where people can pull on you or control you, right? So you want to keep things basic when you first meet someone. If they want to get to know you like on that level, that's going to be way down the line. That's going to be way down the line. We can talk about our childhood. We can laugh about that. We can talk about our parents. We can talk about our relationship with money. We can talk about that. We can talk about, trips we've done or future things we would like to do. We can talk all about that. But when it gets really, really personal, tread lightly. That's what I'll say. Tread very lightly. People don't need to know your deepest, darkest thoughts and all of that, right? Your fantasies or whatever. Don't play yourself, right? Because they're looking for a way in to hurt you. And so you just want to be sure that the person that you're sitting across from you is the person that has a chance of being with you, and you have a chance of building something, right? Other than that, you're gonna have to keep that going. Um but the trick is really being open enough to just show that you have a heart, right? To show that you have a heart, but not sharing what they want you to share lets them know that you're willing to protect yourself and your heart, okay? It's beautiful to be vulnerable, but don't be laying your cards out here. If you think, oh, last time I wasn't so truthful, or I didn't just put it all out there, they thought I didn't care. I don't care what they thought. Don't you go putting your cards all out on the table for everybody to see. Just like I don't believe you should be out there with your stuff all out for everybody to see, right? Bad things come when you show everybody what you're working with, right? Because not everybody deserves you. Not everybody deserves you. So you got to walk in that lane, and that's men and women. Okay? So gradually showing who you are builds trust. And that's the thing. You don't want to, you got to build up trust. Trust don't just, everybody don't get that, right? You ain't just going to trust some stranger, right? Okay, I know we got Uber and Lyft and all of these other things. You living in other people's houses for vacation and stuff. But trust needs to be built. Like in my business, they say they need the trust, the like, the know. They need to see you. They need to see what you're about. They need to see other things that you're doing before they decide to invest anything in you. And that should be the same when it comes to dating, honey. So I know you're thinking, okay, I get on this app, I find some guys, I'm not laying it all out. I make sure that I know what I'm looking for, and I'm willing to walk away when I know this joker can't give it to me. So what do you do if things don't work out? Right? You gotta learn to walk away and block them numbers. You ain't invested. Look, one day, if you go home after one day and you crying in your pillow, I'm gonna need you to go see a therapist because you doing way too much. I don't even know how you got there that fast. You know what I'm saying? And you got people out there like that. So guarding your hearts, guarding your energy, right? It's not about you being cold to people, but it's about you being mindful of you, your entity, your body. Recognize your worth. That's that's the problem. Men and women do not recognize their worth, and they're not willing to walk away from something that doesn't serve them because they think that they're not gonna find anything better. Honey, you gonna find something better. He's out there, she's out there. Do not play yourself short when it comes to love. What you desire, someone else out there is desiring it too. But this is the thing. If you're not finding it readily in your circle, you're going to have to move. You might have to go have a weekend the next city over. right? Get a hotel and then see what's going on in their malls or their areas. Go to some festivals. You're going to have to get out of the places you that aren't yielding you the people you want. Find the people you want in those places. And sometimes you have to go outside the box. Sometimes you might have to move out of your state. Sometimes you have to go to the next city across. Sometimes you have to get online. Sometimes just talking to friends. Because this is so funny. My husband, we became Facebook friends, I think, almost 6 months after we started talking to each other. And once we had put our first picture out there, we found out we knew the same people. And I was like, how you know them? I ain't never seen you around. He was like, well, how you know them? I ain't never seen you around. Look at that. Two single people, ain't nobody on either side say, hey, I know sis is single or whatever. Sometimes if you check in your own circle, someone might know of someone who is single and would be a great match for you. So I was just throwing that out. Sometimes we got to think outside the box to find that person, right? Because you can pray all day long, but God ain't going to just have that man come knock on your door. I'm sure it's happened because there's exceptions to every rule. But I'm just saying, if you ain't moving your feet and you're not actively looking, then how he supposed to find you, sis? Or how are you supposed to find her, sir? I'm just wondering, shoot. But do not settle. Whatever you do, do not settle because people will drain you. They'll drain your energy. And let me tell you, about after 6 months, except for narcissists, they can go a little longer than you. Lord, please don't get trapped in one of those. People can only wear their mask for so long. And then they will slowly reveal themselves to you. That's why you don't lay your cards on the table. Because you got to see how long this thing is going to go before the true them comes forward and they feel a little relaxed, okay? Enough to show you pieces of them that you may not like. And let me tell you something. If you're in a situation, if you're in a relationship now and you're wanting to marry this person, but you don't like what they're doing already, you don't like them, you're constantly arguing, you getting a piece of paper saying your marriage is you're married ain't gonna make it no better, because what you just told that person is, I'm willing to accept all of the stuff that you have done and marry you and that stuff. So why would they change? Why would you think that, oh, we're married now, it'll get better? It ain't gonna get better. You just said yes to all of the craziness. That's what you just did. So you said yes to being left alone. Yes to the cheating. Yes to the overspending. Yes, yes, yes. That's what you did when you got married. Because that joker ain't going to change. She ain't going to change. Right? So be careful, y'all are in relationships and you're so in love that you would accept them thinking that they're going to change. You can't change nobody but you. And that's why I have this channel. Because I want people to really recognize, if you want to change what's going on in your life, the only way you're going to do that is to change you. Look at that person in the mirror. You have the power. You have the authority. But if you're willing to give it away, you don't deserve love. All right, I said it. Boom. There it is. You don't deserve love. Anyways, let's see. What else? What else am I talking about? All right. So love, no matter if it's true love, real love, whatever you perceive it, it's going to have its ups and downs. And this is why you work on you, because even in your relationship, I learned this. You can take it to the Most High, and the Most High ain't going to talk to you about your spouse. The Most High going to talk about you. The divine spirit don't want to know what's going on with Chauncey. The divine spirit, I'm bringing a problem saying, Lord, you need to deal with, and the divine spirit is like, okay, let's go ahead and talk about you since you're here. But I say that to say this. Every up and down when you're in a relationship with a person, whether it's platonic, whether it's romantic, there are lessons to be learned. Always understand, again, like I say, there are levels to this thing, and lessons are found in every corner, every space, every niche, right? So you have to be willing to find out what was the lesson that you learned going through this, so that you can embrace the lesson and then tweak that thing so you don't repeat what is going on. We just, in February, love, and February, Groundhog Day, right? Groundhog Day, if you saw that movie, he just kept reliving, because he had to figure out the lessons that he needed to learn in life. A lot of y'all are spinning on that gerbil wheel, and you refuse to learn the lessons. So you stay on that wheel and you're like, why is this stuff repeating? Why am I finding the same person? Why, when I go to a job, I have the same type of supervisor? That you need to look at you, and then you need to get off the wheel. Because if you can't deal with yourself, you're not ready to be again in a relationship. So you have to do the self work to embrace your own vulnerable issues. And when the time is right, when you've done the work, when you know that you are worthy, when you love yourself, when you know you won't accept anything less, that's when love is going to find you. And y'all, I've been on here too long. I got more videos to do. Um, but I want to say thanks for watching, right? Thank you for watching. If you got your own modern love story, just share below. Did you meet your love online? And if you did, tell me which platform you met them on, right? I tell people about Black People Meet all the time because now I know 5 couples who have been married, who have met on Black People meet.com and who have gotten married. So the platform works. Now there's a lot of jokers on there because what they tell you about online dating apps, it's a numbers game. And I went on a lot of dates. A lot of dates. I got stood up on a lot of dates. I had a lot of crazies on a lot of dates. But I found my man because I was persistent in it. And thank goodness, right on time, he slid on through before I hit that cancel my membership button, right? So what I want to encourage you to do is go ahead, like, share, subscribe. And until next time, keep loving each other, keep laughing, keep being your awesome self. And I'll see you in my next video. I hope this wasn't too crazy, but I was so excited to be back on YouTube. This is one of my favorite platforms, even though I ain't got a lot of viewers. It is what it is. I still be having a good time. It's a party over here, y'all. All right. Peace. And I pray that all that you seek and desire in this life is seeking and desiring you.